I wonder why my picture isn't up. I allowed it.
You did?
Yeah,
No, I don't know.
let me look again. It's not on hide view,
Shalom, everybody.
There it is.
Hi.
Okay. Hi, Lois. Hi, Benny.
Hi, how are you?
Benny,
Shabbat shalom.
no.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Benny, you could go for a bagel now.
Yeah,
Haven't seen you there in a long time.
Oh,
Bagel Bazaar.
yeah, bagel.
I don't go there anymore. We go to Dunkin' Donuts.
Aha. Which one, on Applegarth?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, they're both on Applegarth, but one is closer to us.
The
Which-
one down by, across from Wawa.
No,
There's one across from Wawa?
Yeah,
I don't know.
CVS, by CVS, the street from CVS.
By CVS. Oh, okay.
Yeah, we go to that one, Barbara.
Okay, I'll have to look for you then.
We go around 10 o'clock, usually in the morning.
Okay. If I'm up that, I'm up. I'm just a little lazy usually in the morning.
No, we're both morning people, so it's a different story.
I'm the other way. Well, just stay well. That's the important thing.
you too.
You bet, you bet. My granddaughter just recovered from COVID.
Oh, sorry to hear that.
I know, but she got on the antiviral medication right away, and within 24 hours, it made all the difference in the world.
Oh, that's good to know. That's
Fantastic,
Yeah, it is.
though.
It is.
Yes, that antiviral medication, if you get on it, as soon as you test positive, it works wonders.
Good.
You need a prescription for that from your doctor?
I'm not sure. Yeah, I guess you do.
Yeah, you
because-
do.
So, I
Yeah,
think you
they
do.
called her doctor and then but it was hard to find. They live up in northern New Jersey in Bergen County. And they live in Ridgewood, and my daughter had to go to Teaneck to
Oh.
get the medication. So it's not so easy to find, but it's definitely worth, if you test positive, call your doctor right away.
Okay. I'm contemplating whether to get another booster. I've
We
had,
did,
You did.
we
Yeah,
did
I'm
already.
Mine on Monday.
okay, you had the new one. All
I
right.
got,
Like today.
yeah, I got it too, a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, same like us, Cheryl.
Yeah,
You need an appointment to get it?
No, we
Most
walked to the
places-
Texas Road Pharmacy and got it right away. They open at 9:30. We were there at 9:30. There was no waiting.
Which pharmacy did you go to, Lois?
Texas Road
Oh, yeah,
On Applegarth.
on Applegarth.
yeah, I know where it is. Yep. Okay.
I called over to CVS. I went through the website.
yeah, me too.
COVID
Yeah, me too.
COVID shot boosters near me.
Yeah,
And
I did that too. I made an appointment through the website and that was it.
Yeah, and I'm getting it at Target.
I think the cantor's about to start. So if everybody, well, I can't tell. He walked away, but when he starts, obviously we'll all mute. He looked
Yeah.
like,
Okay. We'll definitely do that.
yeah, I don't know. He walked up. He
The
looked like,
rabbi away?
excuse
Is
me?
the rabbi away?
I don't
Yeah,
know. She might, because
wait.
he did Yiska this morning.
Oh, so maybe the rabbi is taking.
Yeah,
a
she
day
may. I
off.
don't know. He
Yeah,
did the
she's
Yiska
away.
service. That's very musical. Whatever it is.
A musical telephone.
Oh, is that what it is? It's,
I think it's a telephone.
you're probably right. I can't tell anymore. Oh, she's talking.
What was this morning?
Yisker.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Good evening, everyone. Shabbat Shalom. My name is Marshall Kisner. I'm here on behalf of I'm a board member for Beth Chaim congregation. And today, in lieu of announcements, I was asked to discuss something I'm grateful for, a tradition from Beth Chaim. With this being Passover week, I had a pertinent moment I wanted to share. I'm grateful for spending the holidays with my family at Passover, especially after these last 2 years. And the traditions of teaching my children about the Haggadah and Passover. So this week I was trying to explain to my 7-year-old daughter about the 4 questions and the 10 plagues and what we're doing. And she cut me off and said, "I learned all that in Hebrew school already, Dad." So I'm thankful for Beth Chaim, the Hebrew school, and the community for making my life easier, because now my daughter knows everything and I don't have anything to do with teaching her anything. So thank you, everyone. Enjoy the service.
So how about today's weather? Right? What a great day. Everybody say Ma Yafeh Hayom. It means how beautiful is today. Right? Ma Yafeh Hayom. What a beautiful day. And of course, we're going to sing this. The only other words are Shabbat Shalom, which hopefully we all know. So please join me. Ma Yafeh Hayom, Shabbat Shalom. Ma Yafeh Hayom, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat. Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom. Ma Yafeh Hayom, Shabbat Shalom. Ma Yafeh Hayom, Shabbat Shalom. Right, I'll call up 2 people who are very near and dear to my heart. We'll continue on page 2.
As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us.
Hello?
As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we in our own day be among those who kindle light.
Your pillows are all weird. I don't know what we got tomorrow. What time are we gonna leave Drexel Monroe?
It says that the program goes from 10 to 4, but I don't think we'll be there until 4.
I was looking at the like.
Page 5. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei pri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho ve'ahava u'ratzon hinchilanu zikaron lema'aseh bereishit ki hu yom tefillah lemikra kodesh. Zeichel yetziat Mitzrayim, kivanu v'acharta, ve'otanu kidashta mikol ha'amim, v'shabbat kodshecha, ve'ahava u'ratzon hinchatanu. Baruch atah Adonai, v'kadesh ha'shabbat. It's grape juice. I was really afraid it was going to be Manischewitz. We will continue together on page 20 and 21 with Lecha Dodi. Lecha Dodi likrat kala v'ni Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala v'ni Shabbat nekabela. שמור וזכור בדיבור אחד, השמיענו אל המיוחד, אדוני אחד ושמו אחד, לשם ולתפארת ולתהילה. לך דודי לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה. לקראת שבת לכו ונלכה, כי היא מקור הברכה, מראש מקדם נסוכה, סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה. לך דודי לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה. התעוררי, התעוררי, כי באורך קומי אורי, 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 שיר דברי, כבוד אדוני עלייך נגלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה. בואי ושלום עטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובצהלה, תוך אמוני עם סגולה. בואי חלה, בואי חלה, לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה, לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. Please be seated.
When? Name the last time.
I figured it would be him.
So I'm going to have you stand back up in just a moment, but I want to make sure I don't forget. I remember this morning, almost forgot this morning. I want to make sure I don't forget this. I mean, we had this gorgeous day to remind us. This Shabbat is the first Shabbat that we changed the text to the Gevurot. So all winter long, when we chant the Gevurot, it's been Mashiv Haruach, Morid Hagashem, the line for the winter, that God makes the wind blow and the rain fall. And in the summertime, that line switches to Morid Hatal, literally who causes the dew to fall. And because in the land of Israel, during the summer, it never rains. It's one of the great jokes that like the tourists never get. But you know the little sign on the hotel desk that says today's weather? In Israel, it says, Meshach Aver Hayom Cham. Today's weather, hot. And it just sits there all summer long because the weather doesn't change. So the only moisture that they get in most of Israel in the summertime is dew. And that's why that line is in the prayer. Anyway, I'll try to remind you when it comes up, but in case I forget, I want to make sure. So we will continue with Chatzi Kaddish on page 26. Please rise.
יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה, על מה יברח יותי וימליך מלכותי, בחייכון וביומכון ובחיי דכל בית ישראל, בעגלה ובזמן קריב, אמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מברך, ואדם עולם מעל מאיה יתברך. יתברך וישתבח, ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא, ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל, שמי קודשה בריחו. ולמין כל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, דמירן בעלמא, ואמרו אמן. Adonai HaMevorach, Arechu et Adonai HaMevorach, Baruch Adonai HaMevorach, Leolam Vaed, Baruch Adonai HaMevorach, Leolam Vaed. Ya la la la, ya la 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 la. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bidbaro mariv aravim, mariv aravim. You called the world into being and spread all the stars in the heavens above. You made the morning and evening, surrounding us daily with signs of your love. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bidbaro ma'ariv aravim, ma'ariv aravim. Ahavat olam Beit Yisrael Amcha Havta Torah u'mitzvot chukim u'mishpatim otanu limadeta Al kein Adonai Eloheinu b'shochbeinu v'kumeinu nasiach bechukecha v'nismach b'divrei toratecha uv'mitzvotecha leolam va'ed ki hem chayenu ve'orech yameinu v'hem nogo yomem v'layla nege yomam v'layla Yavadcha tasir mimenu leolamim Baruch atah Adonai ohev amo Yisrael ohev amo Yisrael. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad 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 Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Vaed. You may be seated. La 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 Lai, la, 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 ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך. לה, 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 והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבבך. לה 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 ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם לאות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך. לי לי לה 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 Lie, la, 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 lie, lie, la, 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 lie, la, 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 lie, lie, la, 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 lie. למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם. In a world torn by violence and pain, a world far from wholeness and peace, give us the courage to say, Adonai, there is one God in heaven and earth. The high heavens declare your glory. May earth reveal your justice and love. We continue together. From bondage in Egypt, we were delivered. At Sinai, we bound ourselves to your way. Inspired by prophets and instructed by sages, time and again, we overcame oppressive forces. Though our failings are many and our faults are great, it has been our glory to bear witness to our God, keeping alive in dark ages the vision of your world redeemed. Together, let us continue to work for the day when the nations will be one and at peace. Then shall we rejoice
It looks
as
like it's
Israel
just
did.
Stuart.
It sounds like it's just Stuart.
Ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 la. Mi chamoch ba'elim Adonai, mi kamoch nehtar b'kodesh, norat tehilot osef eleh, norat tehilot osef eleh. מלכותך ראו בניך, וכהים לפני משה ומרים. זה עליינו ואמרו, זה עליינו ואמרו, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. Ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 la. Ashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu Lishalom V'hamidenu Shomreinu Lechaim. Ashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu Lishalom V'hamidenu Shomreinu Lechaim.
Sometimes I lay under the moon and I thank God I'm breathing, and then I pray, don't take me soon, 'cause I am here for a reason. Sometimes in my tears I drown, but I never let them get me down.
Get me down.
So negativity surround. I know someday it'll all turn around, because all my life I've been waiting for, I've been praying for the people to say that we don't want to fight no more, and there'll be no more wars, and our children will play one day.
One day, one day, yeah. One day, one day. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu Lishalom V'hamidenu Shomreinu Lechaim. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu Lishalom V'hamidenu Shomreinu Lechaim.
Sometimes I lay under the moon and I thank God I'm breathing, and then I pray, don't take me soon, 'cause I am here for a reason. Sometimes Sometimes in my tears I drown, but I never let it get me down.
Get me down.
So when negativity surrounds, I know someday it'll all turn around, because all my life I've been waiting for, I've been praying for the people to say that we don't want to fight no more, and there'll be no more wars, and our children will play one day.
One day, one day, yeah.
One day,
One day, one day. One day, one day, one day.
so one day,
One day, one day, one day.
I don't know if you guys have heard this one before, but if you have, sing along. We're doing one more round.
Do, 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 do.
Vishamru B'nai Yisrael Et HaShabbat Et HaShabbat L'Dorotam B'rit Olam.
Beni uvein b'nei Yisrael, oti leolam. Beni uvein b'nei Yisrael, oti leolam.
Vishamru B'nai Yisrael Et HaShabbat Et HaShabbat L'Dorotam B'rit Olam.
Uvayom hashvi, Shabbat vayinafash. Uvayom hashvi, Shabbat vayinafash.
Vishamru B'nai Yisrael Et HaShabbat Et HaShabbat L'Dorotam B'rit Olam.
Uvayom hashvi, Shabbat vayinafash. Uvayom hashvi, Shabbat vayinafash.
Vishamru B'nai Yisrael Et HaShabbat Et HaShabbat L'Dorotam B'rit Olam.
We rise together for Amidah, beginning on page 46 and continuing on the even numbered pages. And I can't believe I'm remembering this, but remember we're changing the verse in the Givorot. Morid Hatal.
Na 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 Adonai. Na 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 Sfatai tiftach. Na 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 Ufi yagid. Ufi yagid tehilatecha. Ufi yagid tehilatecha. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu Elohei Avraham Elohei Yitzchak ve'Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel ve'Elohei Leah Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor ve'Hanora El Elyon Gomel Chasadim Tovim V'konei hakol v'zocher chastei avot v'imahot u'mevii geula livnei v'neihem l'ma'an shemo be'ahava melech ozer u'moshia u'magen baruch atah Adonai magen Avraham ve'ezrat Sarah. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי הכל אתה רב להושיע, מוריד הטל, מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו, ישני עפר, מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ומי דומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה, ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני, מחיה הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני, האל הקדוש.
Easy. You may be seated. Page 57. We read together in the middle. Ever-present one, may we, your people Israel, be worthy in our deeds and our prayer. Wherever we live, wherever we seek you, in this land, in Zion restored, in all lands, you are our God, whom alone we serve in reverence. Baruch atah Adonai, she'odcha levadcha b'yira na'avod. Now we'll take just a moment in our service to be thankful. Is anything for which we are especially grateful today? Please raise your hand or shout it out or put it in chat. Yes. Almost able to eat bread again. Yes. Oh, yeah. It was a great day. Yes. For a simple act of kindness. Modim anachnu lach, modim anachnu lach. Yes. Finally closed on a house. Mazel tov. Anything else we're thankful for? All right, we'll give thanks one last time then. Modim anachnu lach, modim anachnu lach. And then we'll continue on page 60 with our prayer for peace. Shalom Rav. Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha tasim leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha tasim leolam. כי אתה הוא מלך אדון לכל השלום. כי אתה הוא מלך אדון לכל השלום. שלום רב
על ישראל עמך תשים לעולם. שלום רב על ישראל עמך תשים לעולם. וטוב בעיניך לברך את עמך ישראל בכל עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. שלום רב על ישראל עמך תשים לעולם. שלום רב על ישראל עמך תשים לעולם. ברוך אתה אדוני המברך את עמו ישראל בשלום. שלום רב על ישראל עמך תשים לעולם. שלום רב על ישראל עמך תשים לעולם. תשים לעולם. תשים לעולם. Continue with a few moments of silent prayer. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ועל כל יושבי תבל, ואמרו אמן. So now if you will turn to page 253, we have a Mishaberach, and on the screen is a long list of names of people for whom we are praying. If there's anyone that you would like to, any name that you would like to add, anyone who is in need of healing of heart, of soul, of mind, of body, please add their name. Did you have one? Yes. Yes. Did I miss anyone? Page 253. מי שברך אבותינו מקור הברכה לאמותינו. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. מי שברך אמותינו מקור הברכה לאבותינו. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
So over the last, over the last 2, maybe 3 years, we have occasionally been doing an alternate version of the Aleinu. And several people in the last few weeks have asked me why it is that we do this alternate Aleinu and what's it all about, and what's the deal here. And so I thought it would be worthwhile, it's not exactly a learner's Shabbat, but I thought it would be worthwhile to kind of dive in and see what changes have been made to the Aleinu in our prayer book and why, because they don't generally do anything without a really good reason. So what you have on the screen here is the text of, and I'll put it in quotes because it's not exactly true, but a text that's very close to the traditional Aleinu and the newer one that we're doing. And what I'd like you to do, we're going to start with the text on the right. The text on the right that's in the orange. So I want you first, though, to look at the what's in the black, which is the same on both sides, right? Aleinu l'shabeach la'adon hakol. It is our obligation to praise the God of all, to ascribe greatness to the Creator of the world. Then there's some text in the middle, and it concludes with, we bow, prostrate ourselves, and offer thanks to the Sovereign of Sovereigns, the Holy and Blessed One, right? Vanachnu korimu mishtachavim, that's familiar in the Hebrew also. So what comes in between? If you look at the orange one, so it's our obligation to praise the God of all and to ascribe greatness to the Creator of the world. Does somebody want to volunteer to read the orange? Go for it. So the first thing I want you to notice is that the orange text holds together, but it doesn't really hold with the other text, right? It's our obligation to bow to the Creator of everything. And at the end we have, and we bow and offer thanks to the literal Hebrew is the King of Kings, right? The Sovereign of Sovereigns, ruler of all the world, however you want to put it. HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And in the middle, you have this text about who didn't make us like other people. Now, if you look at the text on the left, do I have a volunteer to read that one? Okay. So now I will point out to you that the text on the left, the text in the green, is also part of the traditional Aleinu, right? That's a text that comes just a few lines later in the traditional Aleinu, but moved up into here. I mean, I'll ask you just to compare thematically which one hangs together better. The themes on the left match up. The themes on the right don't seem to have anything at all to do with each other. So that's one reason why, if you're reading carefully, we kind of like this. I hesitate to call it a newer version because, again, every word up there is in the traditional Aleinu. It's just in a slightly different place. But there's a second reason why people don't love the one on the right as much. Usually that's how it's referred to, as the particularist Aleinu. But I want to say it gets worse than that. Dan, if you give us the next slide. There is a line that we normally leave out. right? Who didn't make us like the other nations of the world and has not positioned us like the other families of the earth, who has made our portion different from theirs and our lot different from all their multitudes. For they prostrate themselves to vanity and nothingness and pray to a God who cannot deliver. That's the traditional Elena. And I want to point that out because for at least the last 4 or 5 Reform prayer books that I know of, that line hasn't made the cut for, I think, kind of obvious reasons. So this is the particularist Elenu. Now, this is the one that we would call the most traditional Elenu in all its glory. And I think you can see why, for people who read it carefully, it's not the most popular thing. On the other hand, Elenu itself is a very popular prayer. We do the next one, which is actually the same as the first one. If you look at our text on the left, which is the one that people think of as the newer one, although it's been in the Reformed prayer books for at least 30 plus years. We haven't generally used it, but it's been in the book since the blue, the gates of blue, the original gates of prayer in the old blue prayer book. It's been, yeah, we have the newer blue prayer book. Great, the blue. Oh, okay. Our Zoomies are feeling lonely, so I won't leave them out. As I have written about before, the Elena was actually born for Rosh Hashanah. It's part of the Malchuyot section in the Rosh Hashanah morning service that's all about God as the ruler over all the earth. And it makes sense to have this kind of traditional bowing out ceremony before God in that service. And the traditional choreography, if you think about it, now I'm facing the wrong way, but pretend I'm facing the ark. It's, V'anachnu korim umishtachavim umodim, right? We're bending our knees and bowing and showing our respect. And then traditionally, what do you do when you rise up from doing that, the Elenu? Anybody know? There are actually traditionally you take 3 steps backwards. And the 3 steps backwards is completely lost on American audiences because we don't have a king. But see, people in Europe understand what that's all about because you don't ever turn your back. You don't ever turn your back on a sovereign. If you have an audience with the queen, you're supposed to back up before you leave the room. You're not supposed to turn your back on the queen. And the same is true in the Elena when we bow in front of the ark. We take the 3 steps backwards because we don't turn our back on our sovereign. This is a prayer that was originally done on Rosh Hashanah, but it was so popular that by probably the 11th or 12th century, it was done at every service. And for the Orthodox, that's 3 times a day, plus the ones on Shabbat and festivals and so on. So it's become a very popular prayer. It's made it into every service. And again, as I pointed out on the high holidays, its original position, it is customary to do that prayer the original way, which is to bow all the way to the ground. Right? When that prayer was done on Rosh Hashanah in the Malchuyot section, people would bow all the way down to the ground. And traditionally, most congregations nowadays in the other services, in the daily services and on Shabbat, bow at the waist. But in many, many places, you have the older custom on Rosh Hashanah, when you do the Great Elenu, you bow all the way to the ground. Anyway, little brief history lesson on the Elenu prayer. But, again, when we chant, and we're about to do it, Aleinu Shabbat Ladon Hakol, Atet Gedolah Yotzer Bereshit, Shehu Noteh Shamayim V'Yoseh Eretz, Umoshav Yikaro B'Shamayim Mima'al. I'm doing the green text. And you might know, it's like that might be a familiar words. We usually do it to a different tune. It's the Itsy Bitsy Spider tune. Shehu Noteh Shamayim V'Yoseh Eretz. You'll never be able to hear that the same way again. But again, it's a completely traditional text. It just comes from a few lines later in the Elenu. We've moved it up here where it fits thematically. And it eliminates that whole our God is better than your God thing that the traditional Aleinu has in it. So anyway, now that we've done all this talking about Aleinu, I'll ask the congregation to please rise. No pressure. We're on page 282 at the top.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצא בראשית, שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסד ארץ, ומושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושכינתו זו בגבהי מרומים, הוא אלוהינו אין עוד, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים, לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא, ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
Page 288. When I die, give what's left of me away to children and old men that wait to die. And if you need to cry, cry for your brother walking the street beside you. And when you need me, put your arms around anyone and give them what you need to give to me. I want to leave you something better than words or sounds. Look for me in the people I've known or loved. And if you cannot give me away, at least let me live in your eyes and not in your mind. You can love me best by letting hands touch hands, by letting go of children that need to be free. Love doesn't die, people do. So when all that's left of me is love, give me away. Continue with Kaddish on page 294. We have a long Kaddish list this week because we're remembering people for the last 2 weeks because Seder was on Friday night. The following people are in the period of Shloshim, the first 30 days of mourning. Rhonda Klein, mother of Jane Conklin. Martha Friedman, mother of Alan Friedman. Sheila Feder, mother of Lisa Feder. Michael Zimmer, Mike Seltzman, in-law of Karen Brodsky and Don Leibowitz, Joseph Renix, father of Chris Serkis. And we remember those who died at this season in years past. Harriet Solit, Howard Balin, Abraham Liebhaber, Jack Pearl, Edith Hyman, Marion Berman, Anita Potowski, Janice Dunn, Saul Bloom, Molly Blumberg, Jacob Jacobs, Arthur Brodsky, Louis Lotkin, Abraham Cohen, Meyer Duchin, William Dickerman, Hilda Willicke, Kenneth Esser, Sam Goldberg, Harold Dean, Lydia Podorowski, Julia Consavoy, Sidney Gerhardt, Robert Gilbert, Pauline Gordon, Samuel Gordon, David Miller, Irving Greenberg, Saul Herring, Betty Husak, Joseph Gelfand, Lillian Connor, Robert Knoll, Mildred Kempler, Sadie Klein, Masha Kowalski, Warren Cross, Louis Mattis, Raymond Snyder, Sam Litwin, Mitzi Berwick, Lillian Frankel, Louis Polavsky, Dawn Thackeray, Katie Black, Lillian Roberts, Matthew Black, Rose Gergold, Sadie Eisenberg, Rose Orbach, T. Rabbit Masterman, Alpha Drescher, Bernard Pennock, Jean Perlstein, Hyman Pogrob, Ann Rifkin, Malcolm Robbins, Harry Roberts, Robert Rosenthal, Jamie Bender, Evelyn Lombardo, Alex Yala, Esther Schwartz, Lloyd Sarfati, Bernard Schaffler, Jack Glucksman, Bernard Hughes, Max Whitman, Rose Vinegar, Muriel Schneider, Helen Pruden, Jerome Pruden, Barbara Garditz, Murray Scholar, Eileen Stoller, Evelyn Rosenbaum, Elizabeth Daniel, Nathan Sakanik, Sheldon Sabbath, Tessie Weisberg, and Francis Glick. As we remember them, we meditate on the meaning of love and loss, of life and death. Page 294, we continue together. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, Belma divrach hirute, v'yamlich malchute, v'chayachon v'yomechon, uv'chaye dechol Beit Yisrael, v'agala v'zman kariv v'yemru. Amen. Yeh shemei Rabbah mevarach, le'alam u'lalmei almaya, Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei dekudesha b'richu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tush b'chata v'nechemata da'amiran b'alma v'yimru. Amen. Yesh lam haraba min shamaya v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimru. Amen. Oseh shalom b'imromav v'yaseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimru. Amen. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us and to all Israel, to which we all say, Amen. You may be seated. So you ready for some good news? We don't have any announcements tonight. Help me with this? Okay. Or zarua lad sadik ul yishve lev simcha. O zarua lad sadik ul yishve lev simcha. Or zarua lad sadik ul yishve lev simcha. Ul yishve lev simcha. O zarua lad sadik ul yishve lev simcha. Ul yishrei lev simcha. 2, 3, 4. O zarua lad sadik, ul yishrei lev simcha. O zarua lad sadik, ul yishrei lev simcha. The words are easy. O zarua lad sadik, ul yishrei lev simcha. O zarua lad sadik, ul yishrei lev simcha. May God give strength to our people. May God bless our people with peace. And of course, we leave you all with a blessing every Shabbat. Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. May God bless you with good and keep you safe. Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka. May God be with you and be kind to you. Yisa Adonai panav elecha. Ve'asem lecha shalom,
Shalom. May you always know that God is close, and may God give you the gift of peace. Shabbat Shalom.